how to use it. They immediately came in and they're like, oh, hey, I want to start searching for data. Right here, start searching for data. I'm going to show you data that probably I'm going to make a broad assumption here most aren't familiar with. So I'm going to come in here and look for diagnostic data, if I can spell it right. Diagnosis, sorry. And what Atlation is going to do is we're going to populate our catalog, the yellow pages of your data, through 3 different methods. The first method is, hey, database, what schemas, tables, and columns do you have? All right, we're going to do the statistical sample. Give us the 10,000 rows, but it is a statistical sample, or it's a random sampling. It's not just the top 10,000. So then we're going to do some frequency analysis on it to help you get an idea of what's in that data. Then we're going to do some of our secret sauce. And it's called query log ingestion. Now everybody go, ooh. Wow, that was awesome. All right, let's try it one more time. Now everybody go, ooh. There we go. So what query log ingestion is going to do is we're going to read every query that gets executed against that data source. And we're able to derive some really cool metrics. One of the metrics is popularity. We're able to look across the entire data catalog and go, these are the most popular objects. And the reason I say that before I even start clicking on anything is everything right up here is sorted by popularity. One of our founders came from the Google search team. And so finding data the way Google finds data is very important to us. So at the top, we can see a couple of articles. Think of articles kind of like Wikipedia documents, where anybody can go in, create a Wikipedia thing. I can see that this article about diagnosis-related groups has been approved. So there is some governance in play, there's a corporate definition. We can see there's a summary. If I have access issues, I need to talk to that guy. And then I can see in the body, some additional context. Then there's some cool little doohickeys right here. Click on those. I can already start seeing that there was a Tableau dashboard built off this data. I can even see sample data, sample rows about this data right there. So it's tying the documentation to the data and making it more of a breathing area. And what's also cool is you can, if you write a query, you can start sharing the results of that query alongside that documentation. So you can be like, oh yeah, here's what this means, and if you want to see revenue analysis, here's what some of the data looks like. Ta-da! Coming down, we can see conversations. If you look over here on the right, how many times when you have a data question do you start an email chain going, hey Bob, do you know about this data? And Bob goes, I don't know, but maybe Jill knows, and Jill starts doing it, and the email chain starts going. And then it's like, awesome, you get that answer, but then only you, Bob, and Jill have that answer. No one else. Conversations addresses that, because any question you ask is directly attached. It looks like I need to talk like this now. This is going to be a little awkward. So any conversation is now attached to this data object. A data object is anything that Atlation has cataloged. It's the general terms. So now you can start looking through and seeing all the other questions that have been asked, because it now becomes that FAQ for that data object. And in words of Billy Mays, but wait, there's more. So coming down here, we're very icon driven. We can see queries coming up. I can click on the query, see a description for it. I can even see, the person that wrote this query is no longer with the company. So all their work is cataloged inside of Atlation. So you don't lose it. We can also see this trust check. So the red, yellow, green. We can see someone endorsed it. Endorse is saying, hey, I've used this query before, I trust it, it pulls back the data I want it to pull back. Any data object inside of Atlation has its trust check. The red means deprecation, do not use. And then you've got your yellow kind of like, hey, ETL job failed, FYI. But what's cool is, Atlation will automatically send emails out to the people. If you are watching that object, watching is bookmarks on steroids. If you're watching that object, like a data table, and someone deprecates it, you're going to get an email saying, hey, this object that you're watching just had a deprecation, FYI, here's what it means. Then it goes a step further. Any queries you've written against that data source, hey, by the way, this table is deprecated. All these queries that reference that table are now at risk. So it doesn't impact analysis for you. Coming down a little bit further, we get some tables. But Nick, how did Atlation know LU_DRG means diagnosis-related lookup groups? This is where some additional secret sauce comes into play. We have machine learning that is constantly reading the documentation you put into it. And that when Allie, our machine learning robot, when she, marketing loves to throw a name on stuff, when Allie goes through and reads stuff, she's gonna start looking for patterns and start looking for those patterns against your column names, table names, schema names. And she's gonna go, hey, does LU mean lookup? Yes, excellent. Does DRG mean diagnosis-related groups? Yes. So now, we're starting to surface tables that we previously didn't even know existed because we have this ML going in the background going, hey, I think this means this. And now it's starting to show up just with searching diagnosis. Now you're not having to go through going, all right, Bob told me to look for this DRG. What does DRG even mean? And you're trying to like find it through like the old school like terminology. No, you can use natural language here. That's very important to us. So I can click on this table, and again, we've got that trust check. Before I even start reading the documentation, I can see there's a warning on this data. Warning, follow PII compliance. Well, that sounds serious. What does that mean? So I can just come over here, open that up in a new tab, and immediately start seeing the PII compliance, what rules I need to follow by, make sure I've gone through everything. I came to see best practices, things I didn't even know about as a data scientist. I need to worry about transmission and transportation of data? What? So it's giving me that context alongside the data that needs to have that additional context. Again, you can also see all the timestamps coming down. The same WYSIWYG, though, what you see is what you get. In articles, is in the descriptions, any text field, so you can format, you can hyperlink, and what's cool is you can tie back directly to those objects. But then, I told you about the query log ingestion. We're also the only tool in the market that's going to show you from a governance perspective who the top users are. You're going, cool, I don't need it for governance, Nick. Well, let's say there was no description here. You click on this little question box, it's going to shoot out an email to those top users, and you can go, hey, you use this data. Can you at least give me a one-line description of what this data means? Because one line's better than no line. And it'll gently nudge them. Hey, can you describe this for me, please? Very helpful. We can see who the data stewards are. We can see there's a governance team attached to it, as well as a couple different users. If I wanted to start exploring the data, I can come in and start seeing, okay, we've got DRG, diagnosis-related groups. Anytime you see this little robot head, it means Allie, our ML, has gone through and auto-named it, and someone has confirmed it. What's also cool is, I can show you the popularity. So now when you're landing on a brand new table, oh, those people use this. Awesome. But, wait, it gets better. I can zoom out of that popularity view, go to the schema view, look at popularity at the schema level. So then I know, okay, most people are playing with this data. I can zoom out even further and show you across your entire data catalog what your most popular data assets are, data objects are, and that they don't have any governance applied to them. Okay, cool, so we're back to the data. I can show you some sample rows, but something that I think for the audience here that you will really like is the lineage. So now we can start showing how your data is flowing at the data source level auto-magically, from source tables to all the different tables. And we can see this hospital info is deprecated, right? If I deprecate some top DRG, this lineage is going to show you the impact analysis across the board, showing you all the tables that are impacted by that deprecation. So you can see where it's being impacted. And lastly, we're like, you know what? This is the table we want to play with. Awesome. I can come over here, click open with, and go right into Trifacta and start playing with it right then. So we're going to take a 5-minute break.